Okay, so take a few nice full deep breaths and slide them up through your mouth. And each exhalation is really an invitation to soften, release, and sink into the earth beneath you. You know, it's just amazing how we're created that the exhalation actually calms, soothes, and cleanses our bodies. And then when that inhale comes, it nourishes, refreshes, and revitalizes us, and we don't have to figure any of this out. So the idea of exhaling through the mouth really helps the body to land a little more, calm a little more, connect a little more. And all the while, feel this earth, this sweet, sweet earth beneath you. Your head softening, releasing into that support. Shoulder blades maybe wiggle a little bit, nestling into that ground. Arms and hands limp and heavy with relaxation wherever they're touching. You know, a sense of them being grounded. The back ribs, the back of the pelvis. And whether it's the legs or the soles of the feet resting on the earth, really feel them release into the earth beneath you, maybe even a sense of heaviness. And so taking this moment as we prepare to enter for our practice, this moment of meditation, to really create ourselves anew by releasing old tension patterns and softening into the grace of this moment. The face softens as the eyebrows recline away from each other. Eyes recline into the hammocks of the eye sockets. Nose, cheekbones soften and broaden. And back teeth part, sometimes releasing the jaw as you do this. And soften the back of the throat. Soften the back of the throat down towards the back of the neck. And feel the breath maybe flow a little more freely. And maybe not feel it, but aware that it may be. And starting our practice with an offering about gratitude. Gratitude unlocks the fullness of life. It turns what we have into enough and more. It turns denial into acceptance, chaos to order, confusion to clarity. It can turn a meal into a feast, a house into a home, a stranger into a friend. The real gift of gratitude is that the more grateful you are, the more present you become. One breath, one moment at a time. And isn't it the beauty of our presence with each other that is so healing, kind, and enriching? And then let's begin to deepen our breath to come into our movement practice. So if the knees are bent, bending the knees, soles of the feet on the floor, and as we deepen the breath, it'll cause the pelvis to rock ever so subtly. So send that breath down into the belly, back, ribs, exhale, empty. And then bring the knees up to the chest, either holding at the thighs, the shins, wherever's comfortable for you, and gently rock from side to side. So it's a gentle rocking. We're not going very far so that you get a nice massage up and down the back of your torso, the back of your head, back of your pelvis. And then back to center and come into some knee circles. So whether you want those knees going the same direction, whether you want to be playful and circle them opposite directions, if you want to circle one knee at a time with one foot on the floor, holding the knees, not holding the knees, only give you a lot of variations. So if there's any discomfort, in anybody's back that's watching this, you might want to place one foot on the floor and have one knee up like Mary's doing. The whole idea is to get those hip joints juicy. Get things woke up in the hips, the low back. And then hug those legs in again toward the chest. And this time the hands are behind the thighs and they draw the thighs in close to the torso. And then loving up those knees. When you start to inhale, take your feet up towards the sky without a full straightening of the knees. And then as you exhale, lower the feet back down. So you can either hold the legs or not. See what resonates with you. And here again, any of these movements that we do, that's a little too much. Keep the one foot, the knee bent, and the foot on the floor, and just work with one leg at a time. It's pretty amazing how some of those subtle changes can make a world of difference. And next time those feet come up, some playful feet pointing and flexing through the ankle joints, toes, feet, and then also bringing in some rotations through those ankle joints. We'll see if we get any snap, crackle, pops going in through there today, getting those dry pockets out. Yeah, and opposite direction. You know, I'm grateful for those feet. When you look at how small they are and that they carry us around all day, I mean, that's amazing. Yeah, gratitude. And then hug those knees back in and just a little gentle rocking again, and notice if it might feel a little different already. It doesn't take a lot when it's done with mindfulness, with awareness, with presence, with kindness. And then back to center. Release the hands, the soles of the feet to the floor, knees still bent. So now we're going to come into this really meaningful pelvic series, you know, low back, hip pelvic series for some real nice freedom and alignment. So lifting the right foot up and rest the right outer ankle on the left thigh, and the knee rests out to the side. And then just bring some gentle rocking here from this position, sort of like a gliding from side to side. You know, find what arm position is comfortable for you, but if arms, T position, palms up is comfortable, you're going to open your heart a little more and open the, actually straighten between the shoulder blades, so it actually helps respiration and alignment through the body. And then bring that back to center. Then lift the left foot off of the ground, drawing the knees in towards the torso. And with this one, Mary likes the block underneath her foot, and then her low back isn't strained as much when she does it. And if there's anything else, Mary, you want to chime in, okay. Thumbs up on that. Now, if it's a bit of a reach for you, I'm going to do a little extra cueing here, just so that we have some experience with this. So Tina's taken a moment because she knows when she brings her leg up, we have shorter necks, so her head tips back. So she tucked her chin. Go ahead, lift your head up a little, tuck your chin towards your throat and land it back down, so we have a neutral neck here. Another way to work with this would be to take the strap around this thigh so that her arms don't have to reach as much, because then again, that affects the neck aspect of it, but yet she still gets the benefits of the deeper practice here in through the hip region. So just nice to see some different variations here. You know, I had Karen coming in and out of it. You know, it's nice as the body starts to morph and do its thing to not try to, you know, armor it and keep it in a simple way. It's alive. We're energy. We're moving. You know, the breath moves us every moment. Now from here, we're going to cradle that right leg. So my right hand is to my right knee, my left hand is either to my foot, my shin, whatever's going to work for me, and then land the left foot. Some people, such as Mary's doing over there, is going to keep the leg resting on, or the ankle resting on the leg. Now gently rock that from side to side. So you've got a cradle rocking going on here. Jaw relaxed. We're working with the pelvis. They're neurologically wired together, the jaw and the pelvis. So when we work with one, it's important to be mindful that the other one isn't straining as a result of it. Then back to center. And then with that right hand, just taking and circling. Go ahead and leave your left hand here and circling this knee. So if I keep my hand on that knee, that hip joint, those muscles that cross over don't need to engage, and then this head of this femur bone gets to move around and I get a nice juicy hip in here. It's not that it's wrong not to hold the knee, just our intention here. And then circle the knee the opposite direction. Soft face, soft jaw. Feel the ground beneath you. Keep sinking into it so we don't bring on any unneeded effort. And all that energy efficiency here. We get fatigued enough. And then back to center. And then land that ankle on the thigh. Now from here, after we've created all this spaciousness, then we're going to gather it all up and do some nice deep center line strength, vertical and horizontal. So this square that's in here, this hole that's in here, we're going to close it up by sliding the right thigh over the left thigh. And you'll notice this happens differently for different people. A lot of it has to do with limb length. And so from this position on an exhale, we're going to squeeze the legs together anywhere that they touch, and then it works for the body. And then on an inhale, we're just going to soften and release that squeeze. Nice, Mary. I can actually see it happening as you exhale. I see your whole body gathering in from side to side and from bottom to top. And you can actually see everybody doing a little bit of a rocking going on there as they're doing it. Karen, if you want, sometimes I know that foot cooperates to wrap around and then she can draw it in. This isn't, better. This is just because her legs are longer and so she can better access a squeeze this way, where Mary can better access it this way. And then on your next exhale, we'll go ahead and release. Bring that right knee up to your chest. Hug it in, half window leaving pose. Mary will just slide this out for now so you can stretch that left leg out. And you'll notice as they change position, they continue to have that long neutral spine in their neck because of them meeting themselves where they are and not trying to push beyond. Then left hand to right knee or thigh and draw it across the midline of the body. It's not your typical yoga knee down stretch. It's really to hit in through this piriformis, deep lateral rotator area, which helps with the integrity of the pelvis, the hips, the low back, and also people that have knee discomfort and strain a lot of times will benefit significantly from this too. Typically, we'd hold this a minute or two due to time, and we would do a breath meditation, but we're going to keep moving on. So go ahead, hug it back into the torso. Smooth, easy breaths here. And then release that leg. Stretch out your legs, stretch your arms overhead, and just take in. Notice each side of your body. Notice, maybe tickle Tina's arm a little bit there, Mary. I am ticklish. And send the breath wherever you can find some space to send it in your body. Just send it in there. Maybe even your toes. Creative. And then sweep those arms down. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the floor. And then take a moment now and notice how it feels. I'm going to slide this in, Mary. Okay, and you put it wherever you'd like it. Just take a moment to notice how it feels. And then the other leg. So the left outer ankle on the right thigh. The knee turns out to a comfort level. It varies significantly. Like this is Mary's turnout. That's Karen's turnout. They're sisters. Their bodies are different. And we love them both, just how they are. And Tina too.
I'm the sister at heart.
Yes. Right, so that rocking from side to side. All the while, keep feeling that ground beneath you and softening and releasing into it. Let that freedom reverberate through your body. And then back to center. Lift the right foot off the ground, draw the legs into the torso. Typically each side feels very different. Karen's working with that neck alignment again, tucking the chin towards the throat, not the chest. Neutral neck, and then lands it back down. Something else that I didn't mention, and you can hold this one in stillness if you're okay, and just sink and soften in. Tina using the strap. You'll notice Karen has a towel under her head and neck. Tina doesn't. Mary has a neck roll. What happens here is each of them has a neutral spine in their neck region, because of whatever support they happen to need or not need, so that we're not throwing the head back and that we're not building it up too much and throwing it forward. Smooth, easy breaths here. You know, and the intention as you're doing this as a practice, maybe you'll watch this a few times and do it without the video, or certainly, you know, continuing to use the audio and visual that you're getting with it. Releasing the hands, let's cradle that left leg now. Yeah, left hand, and then lower that right foot. And then gently rock from side to side. And then back to center. And then using that left hand at the left knee, circle the knee. Something else I guess I want to point out at this point is you'll notice that Karen and like Tina's, with them cradling their foot, they're keeping their ankle neutral and not like bringing a strain in. So if it did tend to strain this and draw it in, I would invite, oh, thank you. That was a good visual with this. You know, if this strain was taking place, then instead I would recommend to Karen that she just brought her hand to the shin. You know, so we make it real for ourselves. You know, it's like benefiting one area of the body, I don't want to compromise another area. I really want to work with the body as a whole and work with its connectivity. And if you haven't changed direction with the knee circle, change the direction. And I just want to note that many times we'll do a little longer on the first side just to get clear in our minds about what we're doing. But when we do the first side, it warms up the second side of our body. So then we might not need to do it as long on the second side. It's not a counting thing, it's a feeling, sensing thing for each person. And then bring that back and rest, release, rest that ankle on the thigh. So we've got that space, sometimes I call this a number 4, and we're going to make the space disappear by sliding that left thigh over the right thigh. And then again, that practice of exhale, squeeze together, inhale, soften, exhale, squeeze it together. Notice that, you know, as you squeeze those legs together, the inner thighs, the pelvic floor, the lower belly, the back, just really the whole way up to the crown of the head. You can even see it's a little more obvious here with Mary when you see her, how it moves the whole way up her spine because her whole body is moving. It just shows up, you know, externally visually with different people. Karen, would you lift that foot, bring your knees over your hip joints and flex your feet. So if you're finding, you know, as you do this, that you're developing a lot of strength, it's amazing that the core strength, both vertical and physical, or vertical and horizontal, this is the next stage. So the knees over the hips instead of hanging, this knee instead of hanging out and protect her little back. And the flexing of the feet also will, and it also gathers it all up. And then go ahead, release that, pause for a breath, and then we'll draw that left knee up towards the chest, half wind relieving pose. If you're okay, Mary, I'll take this out. And she's going to choose whether she wants to extend that right leg or not. And then that left knee in the right hand, and again, the arm can be out at T position, palm up if that works. I keep saying if that works because people, I have found it's almost 20 years now of teaching for me, and we need permission, you know, or we need some guidance, you know, because of just habits and preconceived ideas. So I really want to welcome grace, you know, and permission for kindness and to meet ourselves where we are, that we're not bringing in more tension or struggle or holding our breath or grimacing. And look at these faces. I don't see any of that going on. Makes me so happy. And then back to half wind relieving pose.
I'm so grateful that you listen to your bodies and that you know how to do that now. It takes a while, doesn't it?
It does.
Yeah. And then release that leg and stretch it out, wiggle fingers, wiggle toes again. And then release those arms down. Bend the knees, soles of feet on the floor. Smooth, easy breaths. And just notice how you feel in your body now. We started in this position. And then we landed in this position. I think I forgot to have us do some knee down twists earlier. So go ahead and bring a few knee down twists in. Usually like you to do them at the beginning, so when we do them toward the end, you have the comparison. It's so profound. And if you want to bring a few arm movements in with your knee down twists. So as we work with the pelvis, our center of gravity here, it translates down through the knees and the feet for care, and it also is wonderful to help support our back, our shoulder girdle. It just moves in both directions. And then back to center. Roll over onto one side and find your way on up into table pose, and then we'll check in with our spines too. 6 movements of the spine. It's a really sweet thing. So whether you want a towel underneath your knees, if you do that for a little bit of comfort, take the time to do that, but go right ahead as soon as you're up. Table pose, I call it cat and dog, a lot of teachers call it cat and cow. Tuck tailbone, belly, chest, rounding the back, and then lift tailbone, drop belly, lift chest, arching the back. If there is any discomfort in the back, the range of motion can be smaller. Like Karen has a pretty open range of motion here in her spine, but somebody else might have a much smaller range of motion. Or also if you're pregnant, you might not want to move through as large of a range of motion, so you get some benefits, but that you aren't straining the low back or compromising the linea albina with your posture. Mary's got a towel under her knees. Karen's on like a pedestal with her fingers. There's a lot of different ways when you get into a class that we can teach you. You could be on blocks on your elbows. Kind of just due to the nature of our time, we're going to keep it a little simpler. And then back to center, so that's 2 of the 6 movements of the spine. And then go ahead and do your side to side crescent move. Hips to the right ear drops to the right shoulder, and gaze stays between the hands instead of turning and looking over the shoulder, which is a nice way to open up the side of the neck and the shoulder on the opposite side. I'm going to grab blocks here real quick because I would like to show this variation with the arms. So I've got blocks here, and I'm going to put blocks under my elbows, and instead of slouching, I can be strong. And then tuck tailbone, or wag from side to side. And so if you've got shoulder issues, elbow, wrist issues, it's just a great way to do the posture. And you still get upper body strengthening like you do in regular table. And then, so we have cat and dog, flexion, extension of the spine. Then we have that side to side crescent moons opening. I call it wag the tail. And then the elbow bending and coming up into a twist. And then releasing that down. And so the whole spine actually gets moved from the tailbone, and really the body up to the crown of the head. And if you want, you can take and extend, bend, and bring it back. Take and extend. And this is actually much safer for the neck and the shoulder girdle than those of you that are familiar with the full thread the needle. You might want to try this as a variation. Then next time we come back and land it, drop those hips back towards the heel, child pose, bring in whatever arm expression that you would like to bring in with this. So whether you want, the arms stacked, whether you want them forward, whether you want the elbows bent, and just soften and sink in.
part of the beauty of this posture is that it does help to create some spaciousness and some freedom in the low back. I don't know whether you can detect it on the video or not, but you'll actually see their bodies rising and falling with their breath as they're deepening their breath, the whole body, just like a buoy on a lake. And what a lovely posture of gratitude child pose is. The head's below the heart. It's a position of reverence, of gratitude, of honoring the moment as we breathe, relax, feel, and watch this moment, that gift of the present moment that gratitude shares.